Bill's history haunts him. Bill Spencer is no stranger to controversial decisions. His past act of leniency toward Taylor Hayes, whom he forgave for shooting him in a moment of passion, reflects a recurring theme of misguided compassion. But while that incident ultimately resolved without catastrophic loss, the stakes with Luna are exponentially higher this time. It's not just his own life at risk, but the lives of his children and loved ones. Recent episodes depict Bill grappling with regret, even telling Luna that he can no longer support her. However, these words come far too late. Damage has been done, and the body count is rising. Luna's deteriorating mental state adds another layer of complexity to this tragedy. Once a figure of sympathy, her unraveling psyche now poses a lethal threat to everyone around her. Bill's initial belief in her potential for change has been shattered by the reality of her actions. As he watches the chaos unfold, the question looms large. Can he undo the havoc he's caused? Or has his arrogance irrevocably altered the fabric of his family? The road to redemption. Hindle save his family. As the Spencer family teeters on the brink of collapse, Bill faces the ultimate test of character, with Liam potentially battling for survival, and Steffi living in constant fear. Bill must transform from a man who bent the rules to a hero who upholds them. Speculation abounds that Bill might intervene directly during a critical moment, perhaps throwing himself into the line of fire to shield others from Luna's wrath. Such a sacrificial act, while risky, could be the key to rebuilding trust with Katie, Steffi, and his sons. If they all make it through this ordeal, unscathed, the fallout from freeing Luna, No's always poised to reshape the Spencer dynasty in ways no one could have predicted. Will Bill rise to the occasion, leveraging his power and determination to become the protector his family desperately needs? Or will his past mistakes prove too heavy a burden, costing him the love and loyalty of those closest to him? One truth remains undeniable. The consequences of Bill's decision will leave an indelible mark on the Spencer legacy, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of playing God with justice. Next, we will learn about the intricate and drama-filled history of the Maroon family tree, with Nick Marone's dramatic return to the bold and the beautiful, stirring up old rivalries and shocking revelations for those who've joined the show after Nick's departure in 2012 or for long time fans needing a refresher. We're diving deep into the tangled relationships, hidden paternity, secrets, and fiery conflicts that define this iconic family. Buckle up as we explore the legacy of Ridge Forrester's true lineage, the explosive dynamics with his brother Nick and the woman caught in the crossfire, Brooke Logan unraveling Ridge Forrester's true origins. For decades, Ridge Forrester was known as the golden child of Eric and Stephanie Forrester, the heir to the Forrester Creations empire. However, in a jaw-dropping storyline that aired in 2001, the very foundation of Ridge's identity was shattered. It came to light that Eric, the man who had raised him with unwavering dedication, was not his biological father. Instead, Ridge's true parentage traced back to Massimo Marone, a powerful and enigmatic figure with deep ties to the underbelly of Los Angeles elite circles. Legally, Ridge remained a Forrester, carrying the name with pride, but biologically, he was a Maroney revelation that turned his world upside down. This bombshell didn't just rewrite Ridge's personal history. It introduced a seismic shift in his relationships. Massimo, a man of undeniable charisma, but ruthless ambition, had always operated in the shadows of the fashion world, often clashing with the Forresters over business and personal vendettas. Ridge's newfound connection to Massimo opened up questions of loyalty and identity. Would he embrace his Maroon heritage, or continue to uphold the Forrester legacy that shaped him? The emotional turmoil of this discovery lingered for years as Ridge grappled with the duality of his upbringing and the blood that truly ran through his veins. A brotherly feud, Ridge and Nick's bitter rivalry. The revelation of Ridge's Maroon lineage brought with it an unexpected sibling, Nick Maroon, a rugged, no-nonsense captain who became both a rival and a thorn in Ridge's side. Nick, already a force to be reckoned with in the bold and beautiful universe, was revealed to be Ridge's half-brother, sharing Massimo as their father. This connection was anything but a bonding moment. Instead, it ignited a fierce rivalry that would define much of their interactions for years to come. Their animosity wasn't just about family ties. It was deeply personal, rooted in betrayal, power struggles, and most significantly, their shared connection to Brooke Logan. Brooke, with her magnetic charm and complicated romantic history, became the epicenter of the brothers' feud over the years. Their competition for Brooke's affections led to countless confrontations, each more heated than the last, Nick often portraying himself as the underdog compared to Ridge's polished persona. Believed he could offer Brooke a raw and filtered kind of love. Ridge, on the other hand, saw himself as Brooke's destined partner tied to her 3 years of history and shared dreams. This clash of egos and emotions set the stage for some of the most unforgettable drama in soap opera history, with neither man willing to concede defeat. A tragic misunderstanding, the Brooke-Nick affair. The tension between Ridge and Nick reached a boiling point during one of the Bold and the Beautiful's most harrowing storylines. The notorious Sheila Carter, a villainess with a penchant for chaos, orchestrated a terrifying kidnapping that ensnared Ridge, Nick, and Brooke, trapped in a web of danger. The trio faced life or death stakes in a heartbreaking twist. Brooke and Nick believed Ridge had perished during the ordeal. Overwhelmed by grief and the intensity of their situation, they sought solace in each other's arms, leading to an intimate encounter that would have lasting repercussions. However, Ridge was very much alive, and his return to the scene was nothing short of devastating. Stumbling upon Brooke and Nick together, he was confronted with a betrayal that cut deeper than any of Sheila's schemes. The fallout was immediate and messy, with trust shattered and accusations flying. To add another layer of complexity to this already tangled web, Brooke soon discovered she was pregnant with R.J. Forrester. While Ridge legally claimed R.J. and raised him as his own, within the Forrester family, history had a cruel way of repeating itself. Years later, it was confirmed that Nick Marone was, in fact, R.J.'s biological father, revelation that reopened old wounds and cast a shadow over R.J.'s upbringing. Eric Forrester, the father who shaped Ridge amidst the chaos of paternity scandals and family betrayals, one constant remained in Ridge's life: Eric Forrester. Despite not being Ridge's biological father, Eric raised him with a level of devotion and love that transcended blood ties. Liam, but also set the stage for a dramatic showdown with Grace and whoever is pulling her strings, the fallout highest for Liam. If this theory proves correct and Grace is indeed complicit in drugging or deceiving Liam, the consequences could be severe. Finn's discovery of her actions would likely lead to her arrest, with charges ranging from medical malpractice to intentional harm. The courtroom drama that follows would be a spectacle. Has Grace's motivation whether coerced her? Will Lingo laid bare for all to see? Will she turn on her mysterious contact to save herself, or take the fall to protect someone else? Her potential imprisonment would also impact her family, especially her daughter, Paris, adding another layer of emotional complexity to the storyline for Liam. Surviving this ordeal would mean more than just reclaiming his health. It would be a chance to rebuild trust with those around him and seek justice for the pain he's endured beyond the legal ramifications. The reveal of this plot would ripple through the BNB community, affecting relationships and alliances in unexpected ways. Liam's loved ones, particularly Hope and Steffi, would grapple with guilt for not noticing the signs sooner, while Finn's heroism could solidify his status as a moral compass in the show. Additionally, uncovering the mastermind behind Grace's actions could open the door to new conflicts, especially if it's someone with deep ties to the Forrester or Spencer families. Next, we will learn about the shocking fallout from Bill Spencer's fateful decision to free Luna Nozawa, a choice that has plunged the Spencer family and their loved ones into a vortex of danger and heartbreak. What began as an act of supposed mercy has morphed into a catastrophic chain of events threatening to shatter everything Bill holds dear. In this deep dive, we'll explore the intricate web of consequences, the escalating threats, and the potential path to redemption for a man whose arrogance may have cost him everything. The genesis of a disaster. Bill's misguided mercy. Bill Spencer, the titan of Spencer Publications, has always wielded his power with a mix of ruthlessness and rare compassion. In a stunning move, he decided to grant Luna Nozawa, young woman convicted of the brutal murders of Tom Starr and Hollis, a chance at redemption. Initially arranging for her to be placed under house arrest, Bill went a step further by leveraging his influence to secure a full pardon. His belief was that Luna, whom he saw as a misguided soul shaped by trauma, deserved an opportunity to rebuild her life. However, this decision, rooted in a complex mix of pity and a desire to play the savior, has proven to be a grave miscalculation. Little did Bill anticipate that his act of leniency would unleash a storm of chaos upon Los Angeles. Luna, far from reformed, seems to have interpreted her freedom as a license to exact revenge on those she blames for her past suffering. Bill's blind faith in her rehabilitation has not only endangered innocent lives, but also painted a target on his own family. This initial act of mercy, while well-intentioned, ignored the warnings of those around him, including longtime allies and family members who foresaw the darkness still lurking within Luna. Luna's reign of terror, Steffi in the crosshairs as the drama unfolds in the July 4, 2025 episodes. Luna emerges not as a reformed individual, but as a calculating predator, her primary target. Steffi Forrester, the fierce and resilient co-CEO of Forrester Creations, who has become the focal point of Luna's unhinged obsession. Steffi, known for her strength, now finds herself gripped by a paralyzing fear as Luna's threats grow increasingly personal and violent. Whether it's menacing messages or chilling encounters, Luna's vendetta against Steffi is fueled by a twisted narrative of betrayal and resentment, details of which are slowly emerging through whispered conversations in the episodes. The terror doesn't stop at psychological warfare. Luna's actions hint at a deeper, more sinister plan to dismantle Steffi's life piece by piece. Sources close to the production reveal that Luna's fixation on Steffi may stem from a long-buried grievance tied to family secrets, possibly involving the Forrester and Knows-all lineages as Steffi grapples with this unseen enemy. Her world in Sebastian of confidence and control crumbles under the weight of constant danger. The streets of LA, once a backdrop to her triumphs, now feel like a battlefield where every shadow could harbor Luna's deadly intent of violent escalation, the shooting that shakes the foundation. The drama reaches a harrowing crescendo in the episodes airing from July 7th to 11th, where Luna's schemes explode into a shocking display of violence. In a heart-stopping sequence, 3 individuals fall victim to a shooting orchestrated by Luna, with one tragically succumbing to their injuries in the operating room. The identity of the fallen remains shrouded in mystery, but whispers among insiders point to a devastating possibility. Hill's own son, Liam Spencer, might be among the casualties. This incident is not just a plot twist, but a brutal wake-up call for Bill. Spoilers suggest that a difficult realization about Liam surfaces during this chaotic event, hinting at a profound loss or life-altering injury. Could Liam, who has often been the voice of reason in the Spencer clan, pay the ultimate price for his father's hubris? The emotional stakes are unimaginably high as Bill, who has been conspicuously absent from recent confrontations, rushes to Liam's side on July 11th. The image of a powerful mogul humbled by grief and regret at a hospital bedside paints a stark contrast to the man who once thought he could manipulate justice without consequence, backlash and accountability, who both faces the firestorm. The repercussions of Bill's decision reverberate far beyond immediate violence. The public and those closest to him are quick to lay blame at his feet. Katie Logan, the mother of Bill's youngest son, Will Spencer, is understandably furious with Luna having already issued threats against Will. Katie's maternal instincts kick into overdrive as she confronts Bill about the reckless endangerment of their child. Her anger is echoed by a broader chorus of outrage on social media, where fans of the show demand accountability for Bill's role in enabling a murderer's freedom. Hashtags like Justice for Spencer and Bill pathfind as viewers express their frustration with a man whose wealth and influence seem to shield him from the consequences of his actions. Yet in the unpredictable world of soap operas, redemption often lurks around the corner. Speculation is rife that Bill might finally take responsibility by using his vast resources to apprehend Luna. Could he collaborate with law enforcement, leveraging his connections to ensure she's brought to justice? Or might he take a more personal approach, risking his own safety to protect his family from the monster he unwittingly set free? The path to forgiveness is fraught with challenges, but Bill's history of dramatic turnarounds suggests he might yet find a way to salvage his fractured relationships. Freud, Everyone Survives Luna's Wrath, a pattern of misjudgment, deep into a thrilling and mysterious storyline from the bold and the beautiful that has fans on the edge of their seats. Could Liam Spencer's supposed terminal illness be nothing more than an elaborate deception? Join us as we explore the possibility of a sinister plot involving Dr. Grace Buckingham, questionable medications and a web of secrets that might just save Liam from a doomed fate. Buckle up for an in-depth look at the clues, the characters, and the potential twists in this captivating soap opera saga, unraveling the mystery of Liam's condition. Liam Spencer, a central figure in the BNB universe, has been battling what appears to be a devastating illness, leaving viewers heartbroken over his seemingly inevitable decline. However, recent episodes have dropped subtle hints that all may not be as it seems with his diagnosis, the camera lingering on Liam's pill bottle, the uneasy demeanor of his doctor, and whispered conversations behind closed doors all point to a darker truth. Could it be that Liam isn't facing a terminal disease, but is instead a pawn in a dangerous game of medical manipulation? The show has cleverly woven in these breadcrumbs, inviting speculation about whether Liam's worsening symptoms are genuine or artificially induced. Perhaps the fall that led to his supposed brain issue was only the beginning of a much larger conspiracy that threatens not just his health, but his very life. Adding to the intrigue, Liam's medication has become a focal point in recent scenes with close-up shots emphasizing the label bearing Dr. Grace Buckingham's name. This isn't just a casual detail. It's a deliberate choice by the writers to draw our attention to the source of these drugs. Given the show's history of dramatic reveals, it's entirely plausible that these pills are not healing Liam, but harming him. Maybe they're laced with substances designed to mimic the symptoms of a severe illness, creating a false narrative of a terminal condition. This theory gains traction when we consider how often Liam is shown reaching for his medication, almost as if the show wants us to question what's really in those capsules. Is this a clever plot to keep Liam dependent on a treatment he doesn't actually need? Dr. Grace Buckingham, healer or manipulator at the heart of this unfolding mystery, is Dr. Grace Buckingham, whose behavior has become increasingly suspicious in the episode aired on July 3rd. Viewers couldn't help but notice Grace's rattled demeanor as she dodged persistent phone calls and text messages from an unknown party. Her visible stress, coupled with her reluctance to confide in anyone, suggests she's hiding a significant secret. Even Finn, ever the compassionate soul, picked up on Grace's anxiety, offering a listening ear during a tense moment. Yet Grace rebuffed his kindness, her guarded responses hinting at a burden she's forbidden to share. Could she be under someone's control, forced to play a role in a scheme that goes against her medical ethics? Her insistence on pushing Liam toward aggressive treatments like chemotherapy and radiation, despite Finn's cautions about severe side effects, raises red flags about her true intentions. What's particularly puzzling is Grace's fixation on Liam's case, especially given her established background as a cardiologist in past B and B storylines. Why would a heart specialist be so deeply involved in a neurological condition? This discrepancy alone fuels speculation that Grace might not be acting of her own volition. Perhaps she's fabricating test results or even presenting falsified brain scans to convince everyone, including Liam, that his condition is far graver than it truly. If so, her actions could be part of a larger manipulation orchestrated by an unseen puppet master, who's using Grace as a front. Her overzealous push for treatments feels less like medical concern, and more like a desperate attempt to follow orders, even at the cost of her patients' well-being. The hidden puppeteer who's behind the calls, the identity of the person relentlessly contacting Grace, remains one of the biggest unanswered questions in this arc. Whoever is on the other end of those calls and text seems to hold significant power over her, possibly through blackmail or coercion. Could this be tied to Grace's past, specifically her connection to her ex-husband, Dr. Reese Buckingham, whose shady dealings have been referenced in previous episodes? Finn's mention of Grace's family troubles might not be a throwaway line, but a clue pointing to unresolved issues that are now resurfacing with devastating consequences. Reese's history of unethical behavior, think back to his involvement in baby swapping scandals, makes it plausible that he or one of his dangerous associates could be manipulating Grace into targeting Liam. But for what purpose is Liam being used as a guinea pig in some illicit medical experiment? Or does this scheme serve a more personal vendetta? Another layer to consider is the potential motive behind making Liam appear sicker than he is. If Grace is indeed administering harmful drugs or falsifying medical records, it's likely part of a broader plan to control Liam's fate. One chilling possibility is that someone wants Liam out of the way, not through death, but by rendering him incapacitated or dependent on the necessary treatments. This could tie into the Forrester and Spencer family dynamics, where Liam's presence has often been a source of conflict. Alternatively, this plot might be financially motivated, with someone standing to gain from exaggerated medical bills or experimental drug trials. Whatever the reason, the shadowy figure, Pressure and grace is the key to unlocking this mystery, and fans can't wait to see their identity revealed in upcoming episodes. Liam's true diagnosis: a glimmer of hope. Despite the grim portrayal of Liam's health, there are signs that his condition might not be fatal after all. The fall that reportedly caused his brain issue could have resulted in a genuine injury, but what if it's being exaggerated to serve a hidden agenda? If Grace, or her mysterious collaborator, is inflating the severity of Liam's scans and symptoms, then there's hope that his illness isn't a death sentence. This storyline could be the show's way of introducing a dramatic rewrite, pulling Liam back from the brink, just when all seems lost after all. Actor Scott Clifton has been spotted filming scenes for episodes airing well into September, a strong indication that Liam's journey is far from over. This timeline suggests that the writers are building toward a redemption arc where the truth comes to light, and Liam gets a second chance at life. Moreover, the emotional weight of Liam's struggle has kept viewers invested, and a reversal of his diagnosis would be a satisfying payoff. Imagine the relief and joy among the character Sand fans when it's revealed that Liam's suffering was a cruel fabrication. But for this to happen, someone needs to uncover the deception, and that's where Finn's role becomes crucial. As a trusted friend and a doctor himself, Finn is uniquely positioned to notice discrepancies in Liam's treatment plan. His growing suspicion of Grace's behavior could lead him to dig deeper, perhaps running independent tests or confronting her directly about her odd conduct. If Finn exposes the truth,